Michael Neely's
Welcome to the
here.
show, everybody. Be quiet, Doug Sandler. Welcome to the show, everybody. I just threw everybody into this mix. We are
Yeah.
celebrating Spirit, Purpose, and Energy's 500th episode today, and I couldn't think of a better group of podcasters to
Oh my
do this with. The
gosh.
OGs, if you will. We've got Doug Sandler, Michael Neely, and Allison Melody with us today. And of course, Michael is a surprise for Doug and Allison. So welcome, guys.
Oh my God.
Hey, so good to be
I'm
here.
so excited that everybody is here. Michael Neely, I have not seen you in so long. We have
Other
got
than
to,
Marco's, it's like, come on.
and my Marco isn't working so well.
Yeah, yeah. Tell me about it.
Hi, Allison. So good to see you too. I
Hey,
understand you're
Allison.
back in California too.
I am back in California, and just like JJ always helps me do, I'm now manifesting my current dream home. So we're going to talk about that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. We
Hold
did
on.
that. We
I
did
love
that.
it. So I'm so excited. I just got back from Podcast Movement with Allison.
Yes.
And I want to shout out to all the people who are podcasters, especially the people that are here, whether they're doing it now or not, or have multiple shows or not, or have networks or not. And all of you that might be listening to the show that have a podcast. There are 4.6 million podcasts in the world and
Jeez.
only 354,000 active ones.
That makes
So
sense.
I want to talk today about not just about resilience in general and how we have all grown, changed, expanded, how podcasting's changed our lives and some of the lessons along the way, along with celebrating and me being able to say thank you to each one of these podcasters for being such a having a pivotal role in my business and my career. Allison and Michael showed up and helped me with my very first live event in 2018, Releasing What Weighs You Down. And Doug just missed it by a hair. He came into the 2018 September, the next big step. But otherwise, these people have been my family. They've been my besties. They've been people I've networked with. We've created shows together. We've created events together. And I'm so excited that you're all here. So just to make sure anyone who's new listening to the podcast, we're gonna go with the newest face most recently, and I think that probably would be Michael. You haven't been on in a while, so Michael Neely,
Oh,
welcome back to my show.
Yeah,
yeah.
Michael.
Thank you. It's so excited to be back here. Can't wait to hear what y'all are going to share. I'm excited to catch up. It's been a while.
Yeah.
You and I met live in person. In fact, all of us have been podcasting or in the podcasting space for at least 10 years. As of the recording and the publishing of this show, I am hitting literally my 11th year. My 11th year of podcasting. Now, Spirit, Purpose, and Energy is not 11 years old. Spirit, Purpose, and Energy is only 9 years old. Yes, only 9. But me as a podcaster, Fit to Love, has been 11. And when I came back into at 2015, I started in 2014. In 2015, I joined a group and met Allison and Michael, and we had done many, many episodes together, had met each other, quote unquote, through podcasting, but had not met in person yet. I went to Allison's house to have because she lived in LA and I lived in LA, and so we could do our recordings together live. But I met Michael Neely for the first time live in September of 2017 at Podcast Movement in Anaheim. And yeah, I mean, that was just my entry into, oh my God, all these people love talking. We love talking. We all love ideas. We want to just talk about stuff. It felt like the best form of networking ever, where we could
Totally.
all get together and just shoot ideas and come up with ways to be together and to partner and to converse about things that lit us up. So, Michael, it's been a long journey for you. And I know you're doing different things in the podcasting space, but what do you want to tell people that are new to you as of right now about where you came from and what you're doing now?
Oh my goodness, that's a huge question. Where I came from and what I'm doing now, that's a
Just
big
the highlights. Give us
just the
give us
highlights.
the talking points.
Okay, all right. So you kind of covered the start of my podcasting career, and that was actually the tip into the whole coaching industry, which I'm now deeply immersed in. And I would call that the online coaching space. I'm not like a life coach. I'm coaching about business and growing an audience and all of that. And so as the evolution of that has happened, I now do the new media cruise. Hey, I'm wearing my shirt even today for this. So
Of
it is a
course, you're
cruise.
branding. Of course, you didn't.
Of course I'm branding.
Because you couldn't have your backdrop behind you because you're traveling. You made sure to
Exactly.
make yourself known on your T-shirt.
You know, it's so funny. I joke with my sweetheart Krista, as you guys know Krista, that almost all of my shirts now are branded. And I have some of Doug's branded shirts. You know, so
Nice.
So it's like I hardly have anything that's not branded. But bottom line is now we're doing the New Media Cruise, which started out as a Podcasters Cruise, and that's evolving itself, and it is in its third year. And I started a company called Infinite Leads because I'm helping people to really, convert your podcast audience into your email list, because that's where you really want to get the action flowing. So I'm doing that as well. And what else am I doing? Getting ready to head to Italy. I know y'all love
Nice.
Italy as much as I do.
Getting
Yep.
ready to get married, Michael Neely.
And get ready to get married too.
February of 2026.
Yeah. So a lot
Nice.
going on.
Yeah, Michael and Doug and I host Something to Whine About together. Michael started with Conscious Conversations.
Consciously speaking.
Consciously Speaking. It's been a while. Consciously
Yeah.
Speaking. You also started a couple other shows. And do you have any active shows as of now?
Yes and no. And the reason I say yes and no, this is going to be weird. So consciously speaking, as you guys probably know, I haven't released an episode of that in years. Okay, like literally 4 years at least. And part of this process is I've gone inward and I'm like, what do I want it to evolve to? It's like I've got 400 plus episodes out. What do I want it to become? And without going into a long story, I will say that I was in a medicine journey and had an epiphany, and something came about, and I was like, I had to go grab my microphone and record an episode, and boom, I've got it, and I just haven't released it, but it set the stage for what the new iteration is going to be. So there's that.
Nice.
Nice.
I trusted that you would not stay down for long. I knew that you'd be back in the podcasting space because of how creative you are and all the ideas that flow through you and how you like to connect things. So I knew eventually, and not to mention, you did mention on our most recent polo that we needed to do a Something to Whine About episode.
Yeah,
So,
we're behind.
We've been, what's a fun, it's not really a money maker, it's a money saver, but it's definitely a fun show. So we'll definitely
Write-off show. It's definitely a
write-off
write-off
show.
Yeah.
Right.
And you know what's funny? It's one of the only podcasts that I do among the many that I listen to the episodes because they're so freaking fun.
Yes.
Oh,
That's the
And
best.
sometimes slightly embarrassing.
Yeah. Most of the time.
all the time, Barry.
Yeah.
Definitely.
If you're not offending someone, you're not doing it right.
Exactly.
Thank you, Allison.
Where
Well
were
said.
we? Where were we with the cat? And we were on our own.
Oh,
It
I
was
think
the
that
one.
was Armida.
Yes. Oh, we're so sorry, Armida. We're so sorry. We hope none of you ever
Michael's
listen
like,
to that
it kind of
episode.
has notes of cat urine.
Yep. And dingleberries. We talked about dingleberries and
Dingleberries.
cat urine. Oh, never listen to that episode
I
anymore.
will not.
God.
I will not.
It's not right. But it's fun. And we had a lot of
was
fun
fun.
doing it. Yeah. So I'm going to ask you a question to think about as we go around this
All
table,
right.
this podcasting table. And so the themes today for me are, especially coming out of podcast movement and being reminded of how many more podcasts there are, but yet not too many more consistent ones. The idea of adaptability, the idea of resiliency and consistency, and how that has helped you in your business, in your podcast, in your whatever you're doing, in your development. So think about that. We're going to come back to that question. Right now, we're just doing a little intro. So Allison's been on more recently than Michael, but and she and I just spent a wonderful time together in Dallas. It was so great to see her in person. Of course, we live an hour and a half away, but had to fly to Dallas for me to see her. Welcome back to the show, Allison.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here. Yes, I'm happy to celebrate with you. And I know we've all been on this journey together. I'm just so happy we haven't pod faded because I've seen a lot of that over the past 10 years.
Mhm.
So many. And Allison hosts the Food Heals podcast. So we'll talk a little bit about your podcast journey.
Yeah, I started Food Heals 10 years ago, a week ago. So I am celebrating 10 years, although because I am a recovering, thank you, perfectionist, I have not yet thrown a party or done anything big because I have to go big or go home, and I haven't had time to go big. So we will celebrate that. I might do what JJ's doing and celebrate 11 years so that I have a year to plan something absolutely epic. But yeah, Food Heals was born out of the idea that the body is designed to heal itself if given the tools that it needs to do so. And I want to help people find those tools. I found them through nutrition first, then mind, body, spirit, then connecting with people like JJ, learning all of the other things that go into the body and healing yourself. And so that's what Food Heals became. It's just a place where you can go and learn how to heal yourself naturally. And we talk about all the things, current events, past things, people healing, anything that you can do to reverse chronic disease because you don't have to live that way. I'm very passionate about living a life that you absolutely love, loving yourself, loving your body, and just and getting paid to do that as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, that's what we're all
Love
about.
it.
Everybody here is
It's-
about, well, I think that's how we're all survive. We all survived during this entire time, right? Because we all learned how to make money doing what we love. And a lot of people who do podcasts they think the money's going to come. Oh, well, I did 10 episodes. How come I'm not a millionaire yet?
Yeah.
Right. Why am I
Right.
not a millionaire yet? So of course, and the most favorable, been on the show a million times, not really, but almost, Doug Sandler.
Hey.
Yay, brother Doug.
It's so good to be here. This is great, and congratulations, JJ, at what was it, at 500? Is that what we're celebrating?
Spirit, Purpose, and Energy is currently at 500. Although, like I said, this show is only 9 years old. Fit to Love has 775, and actually, or
Wow.
776, 777. Oh, that's going to be cool.
That'll be
So
Oh,
fun.
that's a
actually,
good angel
Nice.
number.
777 is
Nice.
what this episode is on Fit to Love.
Ooh,
Nice.
Nice.
Well, I feel like the elder in this group, although Michael beats me age-wise in that category
Oh, had to
chronologically.
point that out, didn't
Yeah,
you?
yeah, I've always got, look, he can be better looking than me, but I'm always going to be younger than him.
You got me on
1600
both
and
counts.
yeah, 1640 some odd episodes of my show. We've been doing it for 10 years, 6 million plus downloads. It's crazy to think, I think you asked a question to Michael about resiliency, and I really do think my resiliency is rooted in ignorance. I was just too stupid to quit. It's like, hey, when I wasn't making any money, I was having a lot of fun. And then when I started to make money at it, I was making money and having fun. And it's been a, multi-million-dollar venture for me in podcasting. And I can't believe it that I actually get to make money at this. Every time I open up this microphone, I always joke around. The microphone opening up is worth tens of thousands of dollars. And for me, it's like, I can't believe I get paid to do this.
Yeah.
And as a production company, I get to teach other people how to do the same thing too. And everything, personal relationship with you, JJ, and Michael and Allison, have all resulted from my podcast. If my podcast
Yeah.
wasn't here, I wouldn't have many of the personal relationships. From a business standpoint, I've met people that have introduced me to commercial real estate and investment opportunities and things. And yes, you may say, well, that could be kind of scary. Yeah, but you get to learn and trust the people that are in your ecosystem. So you can't have a podcast client and hear about their inner workings and their episodes for 5, 6, 7 years and not get to trust them as a person. So it's easy to make opportunities happen when you are with someone for that long. And it's just been so the hidden gift for me in podcasting. I don't know if that's a question you're going to ask later, but the hidden gift for me is not even the dollars. It's the relationships that I've been able to make, which always lead to money down the road anyway. So
Yeah.
I love this space. It's been so great. Nice Guys on Business has been a godsend for me and my family and for my entire life.
That question
Amazing.
goes to everyone. I just wanted to prepare Michael to think about it, but it's for you and for Allison also when it comes to looking at, because, as someone who's listening to this, and I want to first shout out to all of you who've been with me for this entire time. There are a handful of people that I know for sure, because you work with me in some way, shape, or form, who have been listening since 2014, 2015. And that's a testament to all of us and what we're doing, like how we do what we're doing. You can't get to 10 years in podcasting. I didn't expect to cry. And now I'm like, ooh, okay, tears are going to start flowing, because what I tell people, I grow on, we all grow, we all change, and we share that with others. And so if you're listening to this and you're new, and you haven't been here that long, that's fine. Welcome. We appreciate you. But just know that if you go back into the archives, you're going to hear a different JJ. You're going to hear a different JJ than now. And if you go back in any one of these podcaster shows, you'll hear a different person who started and a different person who is here now. And that's because your business will grow you and your life will grow you. So maybe you don't have a business, maybe it's just you and your family, or just you and your partner, or maybe it's just you and you're looking for, well, am I living? There was a quote that Mary Morrissey said once at Agape, and I don't think it was her quote, but she said it, so I'm going to give her credit for saying it. It's some people live 99 years and some people live one year 99 times.
Right.
So who are you? Are you living 99 years, or are you living 1 year 99 times? And so as you hear today's stories and our, what our takeaways, if you will, it's really to put that on your own life and say, where in my life do I allow myself to grow? Where in my life do I allow myself to expand, to make mistakes, to try new things, to put myself out there, to increase my comfort zone, to ask for help and support, to be with like-minded people, no matter what it is you want to be with them around, whatever subject matter lights you up. I had a client yesterday or a couple days ago, and the moth hour on NPR, the minute she said it, it lit her whole face up. And I was like, okay, well, you need to go do that. And you need to go talk about that all the time, because the minute you say it, it lights your whole face up. And I think all of us follow our passions, which is why we're here, why we're still here, why we've changed and grown into whatever we're doing now, is because we continue to follow what we love. Because to us, I'm just going to say that because I know that about all of you, if we don't love it, we don't want to do it. And we wouldn't be here this long if we didn't love what we did, and if we didn't learn from what we did, and if we didn't change because of what we learned. So if you're listening to this and you're wondering how to apply this to your own life, the themes I want to talk about today are consistency, adaptability, and resilience, because I believe that it doesn't matter what you do with your life or for your life. Everyone has an opportunity the same to grow, to be resilient, to be consistent, to expand yourself, to really listen to what's going on for you and follow that passion. Some entrepreneurs, we're a little crazy. Some of us just leap and we take chances and we spend money and we what is it? Build a plane as you're flying it. You just go. And for a lot of you, that's like, oh my God, that's so scary. I could never do that. But take some of our courage into your own life and ask yourself, well, where in my life do I need a little courage? Where could I grow? What am I looking at? So Michael, let's start with you and I also want everyone to think about, if because I did prepare Allison for this. I've had a couple of my clients that have asked for like favorite episodes. Now I know that the only episodes you might remember are the ones you were on, but in case there were any episodes that you weren't on that you either know about, and it could be something that appeared on your show. Maybe it was a favorite episode that I did with you on your show, or some kind of favorite memory about my work, my show, my live event. All of you have been to at least one live event. Which, by the way, everyone who's listening, I'm going to give you a special deal for this year's live event, because I started in 2018. It's 2025. I'm still doing live events, because bringing you together as a community to meet each other is more important than you could ever know. The four of us have met in person. If we had not met in person, I don't think we'd have the strong relationships that we have today. To me, we're like family. And there's a brother and sisterhood that happens when you do things that you love, and then you meet people in person, you spend quality time with them, and you learn with them, and you grow with them. So I'm going to start with Michael again. And what do you want to share about anything I just said?
Well, do you want to go that question first, or the bigger question you asked earlier?
Whichever one you want to start with.
Oh my goodness, there's so many options. I would say, first of all, I agree 100% that being in person is amazing. And I also agree that we probably would not have the bond of relationship that we have had we not been meeting in person at an event first to get to know each other better. It definitely solidifies things. So there's that. My favorite episodes are all the ones with Doug, Allie, and me. They were my hands down favorites. I really, just one of the things that I really enjoyed in our episodes, and we've done this a couple of times, is where we do the swapping, where then I'll play it on mine and you play it on yours. And so that's always been a real hoot. But I also really liked an episode, and does it have to be this show, or can it be any of the shows you do? Any of the many?
Any.
I really liked the episode we did, which is when to throw in the towel. And this is a segue into my answer, part of your other question that you had, because that was a good one, is for podcasters, like, when do you call it quits? And go, all right, this just ain't cutting it. It's not serving its purpose. And so one of the things that I think about that, and I think about the industry and in general, for people to really understand, is to think of your show like a media company would. And so as an example, while I have, and I know JJ, which of you guys has the most shows now? Okay, I'm sitting at 6. I think, JJ, you've got it at 7, 8?
Oh,
mean-
I have a network, Michael. There's like 16. So
16 shows now. Yeah.
You guys can have that victory, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
It's a tired one.
Here's the thing, though, that I want to say about this is, so you could look at it like, oh, well, I launched an episode and then it tanked and I never did it again. So you could look at that as a failure, or you could look at it like it was a season. And if you keep it out there, it's like, hey, I go through. How many of you watched something on Netflix that was a show that was episodic 10 years ago? You know, it still has life and value. So I'm saying, don't throw it out just because you stop releasing episodes. Don't pull it down. The public will still find it, and so you still have that opportunity. So there's that, and then the other piece is keep trying new stuff too. That's kind of like when I stopped to reinvent what I'm doing with consciously speaking. It's like, follow your passions and create new stuff. And, oh, I got another idea, and let me create that show, and maybe not 16 of them, but do a lot of them. So so that's my take on that piece.
just to be clear, they're not all active. 5 of them are weekly, about to be 7 of them weekly. So, but that's
still
adding
a lot.
I know, but
Yeah.
that's adding 2 more shows, one that I'm releasing in mid-September. So that has a whole nother, but we'll talk about that later. Okay. Did that show appear on your was originally PodQuest show that you just mentioned?
I think we recorded for that, but didn't you guys also double it up and use it on one of yours?
Probably. I probably named it something different.
Yeah.
But I like that title, and I like that, we did a couple different episodes about like how to hire the right coach for you, and and then what's important in podcasting when we started doing your show on PodQuest, which is now
The podcast guy.
The podcast guy. But I agree with you with the pulling it down. There are shows that people find. Doug and I, we only watch Netflix shows or any show that has at least 3 or 4 seasons.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't start with one because then we go, well, we got to wait. We got to wait for another season.
Right.
So we try to find, all the shows that have like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seasons so that we know when we invest, we're going to be there for a while. And then the other shows can catch up and put in more seasons. So I think it's an important thing to mention because while, again, there's 4.6 million podcasts in the world, and you're going to find some that have, 10 or 12 episodes, and maybe that's good value and it's still up there. You can be found at any time. I love the evergreen space. You can be found at any time.
Yeah.
So, and that, I think I would say that for anyone just in life. Remember that who you are in the place that you make in the world and the things that you write about, the speak about, take video about. If you're putting it out there to the world, the people will find it when they're ready. And evergreen is like the best. Evergreen means, for those of you who don't know, evergreen is what we're doing. This is not an episodic podcast. It is not temporary. It is not live. It is recorded. It is put there. And then in 10 years from now, you can still find it. Same thing with all Netflix and anything on demand is kind of evergreen. So thank you for that. So Allie, let's move on to you.
Yes. Okay. What is the question? My favorite podcast?
Let's start there.
Okay, so I did my homework because JJ already gave me the question. I'm a really good student. So I have 4 episodes to share with you guys. So recently, JJ did an episode with Christy Whitman. It was episode 496. It's called The Truth About Letting Go and Letting Them. And you know why I clicked on this? Because of the whole let them phenomenon, which to me, I was like, do you guys know what that is?
No.
Okay.
The guys don't know.
Oh boy. All right, I'm going to keep this brief. But basically another big podcaster came up with this theory that we all have known about for years, but she's getting all the credit for it. And she actually stole it from someone else. Anyway, so as soon as I saw that, I was like, JJ's going to have a great take on this. And she did. And the whole purpose of the episode, and there's many purposes to the episode, but the reason I clicked on it is because I want to talk about this because this is not new information. It's just framed in a new way. So when you're thinking about your own podcast or what it is that you're sharing with the world, don't say, oh, I can't do it because someone else has already done it. Don't absolutely copy someone, but you can say it in your own way and it can become a viral phenomenon. This person did not make that up, but she is now famous for it.
Yep.
And it's a great concept. I don't think it's explained well by the person who's currently explaining it.
Damn you, Marie Forleo.
No, it's not Marie.
I love Marie. No, I love Marie. Everything is figure outable. I'm a Marie stan. I'm just not naming names because I don't want to get in trouble on, I don't know, YouTube.
Oh, come on. Throw
I
caution
agree.
to the wind. Fuck them if they can't take a joke.
Anyone can Google this at any moment, okay?
True.
Sorry.
Anyway, so that was one of my favorite episodes because they went over that.
Yeah.
And I agreed with your take.
Cool.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, well, that was Christy saying, I think I need to start a podcast again. I'm like, she goes, I have a lot to say. I'm like, yeah, you need a podcast. What are you doing not having a podcast? You have an audience. You had a million books. She's got her next book coming out, and she's actually going to be at my live event. Speaking of, Christy Whitman will be doing a session on the Flow Factor, which is her new book coming out, and she will be doing a session on Sunday. So
See how I teed that up for you?
Way to
I
go.
know.
Perfect.
Allison does her homework. She is very well prepared. She is an excellent podcaster. And how many episodes do you have right now?
Over 500, maybe 504, something like that.
Yeah, you're a very classy, very well organized, high level production value for your show. Very good business person. She did a wonderful talk at Podcast Movement on sponsorship. She killed it. She was all nervous about it. She killed it. She did such a great job.
Thank you.
So if you don't know about Food Heals Podcast, make sure you check out Food Heals Podcast with Allison.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me go to the second question for you. And in terms of your own growth as a person and as a business owner and as a podcaster, between consistency, authenticity, resilience, and adaptability, which one of these things has been the most profound for you?
I hate the word authenticity, but it actually matters because it's like, as soon as I started, I was just like what my ex would call my school teacher mode. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the show. I'm Allison Melody. And now I'm just like, hey, what's up? Like, I'm my true authentic self. I don't have to play school teacher. I don't have to, not that I was ever pretending to be something I wasn't, but I had to be this professional person coming at you, not just a human. And guess what? Your audience wants the human version of you. That's where they resonate. When you're struggling and you solve a problem, that's where they resonate, not when you're showing up perfect all the time. And so as a recovering perfectionist, that's definitely one of my biggest lessons, that the audience responds when you're absolutely as authentic. And I hate that word, but as when you just show up as yourself and you stop giving so many FUCKs. I don't know if we're allowed to cuss, but
Of course you can.
No
You can say
fucking
it.
I don't know.
Yes.
That would be,
And
my show wouldn't be my show if I wasn't able to drop the F-bomb.
We're not on your show. I didn't know. I wasn't sure.
I'm sorry. Fuck you.
I'm still a recovering perfectionist here.
Right.
Fuck.
Got it.
I hate the word mindset, so I understand.
Yeah, exactly. You hate the word gratitude, right? Me too.
I don't hate the word gratitude. I just think that people don't understand that it doesn't help you to use that word for most people because they're dragging their shit behind them. But no, so thank you for that. And I agree that, this new show that I've started, which will be out a week after this is live. It's called West Coast Women Rising, and it's with the Ventura County businesswomen. And when I first started it, I thought, okay, cool. This is going to be like just an extension of JJ's show. And then I realized, oh, hold on. No, this is you partnering with someone. You can't just take over and be you all the time. I mean, I am, but I've had to kind of like ease into and be like, hey, y'all, you have to know who I am. I'm a direct person. Get ready. Like, it's not, don't take it personal. This is just how I am. And so we're kind of massaging me into how this podcast is going to roll. And it's been really interesting to stay true to me and also learn and adapt and realize that this is a different audience. This is a different group of people I'm interviewing. And there is going to be a requirement for me to be different, not inauthentic, just different. So I appreciate the authenticity that you brought up, because I did kind of struggle for half a minute there and thinking, am I going to not be authentic in the show? And then I thought, oh, here's a way to do that. It's another growth opportunity for me. Yay. Love to grow. So
Okay.
Doug Sandler,
More lessons, please.
Right. Because God, I need to learn more things today. Doug, babe.
Hey, babe.
Babe.
I am going to take the exact polar opposite that Allison takes and say, why prepare?
Ooh.
You have ChatGPT at your fingertips. It's like that. That's been my MO. And you know what? I struggled with that in the beginning because I thought, well, this is kind of inauthentic to show up in an interview not prepared or having someone else prepare. But I found that ChatGPT actually does a better job than I would do doing the research and giving me some behind the scenes. And as long as you fact check the stuff before you say it, I think that there is some relevance that ChatGPT can provide, if given the opportunity.
Yep.
So
as long as it doesn't hallucinate.
yeah, and that's okay. And on Nice Guys on Business, you know what? It is okay to we make not that we ever want to not be truthful with our information, but we make a ton of mistakes. But the reality of life is that don't we just go through life fucking things up and trying to fix them and fucking things up and trying to fix it? And that's kind of how I've built every business, JJ said it really eloquently. We continue building this plane as we are flying it, and fine tuning and revising and creating new iterations of production company and guest acquisition in our process and all of that. And for me, it's been a great way to learn some valuable lessons that I never could have learned as in my previous life before as a bar mitzvah MC. You got one shot to make this work. But as a podcaster, it's like every time there is a new guest sitting in that guest seat, I have a new opportunity to learn. Free coaching that I get from these major heavy hitters, Grant Cardone and John C. Maxwell and Gary Vee and Ariana and all these big names that I've had a chance to, have these free conversations with and pick their brain and like, what's important to you right now? And like, hey, Ariana, you wrote a book called The Sleep Revolution. Tell me, how did you sleep your way to the top? Asking questions like that, being joking, but at the same time, some level of, personality, my personality, my authenticity absolutely can show through each and every episode that I do of Nice Guys, and been doing that way for 10 plus years.
Do you have a favorite episode, my love?
Yeah, there's a couple of them. We did, I think it was, I don't know why I would even know this number, but we did episode 55, I believe, of Spirit, Purpose, and Energy.
It was Women, Men, and Relationships.
Okay,
episode 55.
When I was introduced to your community, and that was a big day for me, because I felt like, not that we were hiding before then, but I felt like, okay, now there is a Doug that is in your world. And I love when you're, thinking about me in the center of everybody's circle. When your community asks questions about me, I think that's very fun, because I don't know, I love that. There have been other episodes that you and I have done together that I've very much enjoyed on Something to Whine About, sales training for podcasters, women, men, and relationships, of course, Spirit, Purpose, and Energy. Your live events are great, huge, very much of an impact on my life and the lives of the people that are there. And again, none of this would have happened had a podcast not have been the catalyst for it all.
I know, it's crazy.
It is
It's crazy how relationships are built, but we also had to show up at an event. So it wasn't just at the podcast, right? Because Michael and I met in person. We knew each other, but met in person and hung out. You were kind of my conference husband, Michael. And we were both married to different people, obviously. And so we were kind of hanging out at that event. And I believe, Allison, you were at that event also. I don't remember if we took any pictures or not. I think the first time I think I saw you after that was at New Media Summit, but I met Doug at that event, but Doug was also married to somebody else. Everyone here has been married.
Podcasting, so everybody knows, podcasting destroys your marriages.
It really does. What's up with that?
That's true. Every single one of us was married to
That's
somebody
funny.
else.
Oh my
Somebody else.
God.
They weren't a podcaster, so we all got divorced from that scenario.
Well, it had
But
nothing
yeah,
to do
you
with
and I met at a podcasting conference. One of our in common connection said, "Hey, JJ should be on your show," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." I was a year, 2 years into podcasting or whatever at that point, and that's how we started. I hired you as a coach. That was the next level. Then I moved in with you, because that, of course, is the natural progression from hiring you as a coach to moving in with you.
You really want the training, you got to be in here all the time.
There is only a limited amount of people that can do that, though. So, JJ, thank you for allowing me into your life and your community.
Did she train you in the bedroom too?
Absolutely. If you would know anything about it, Allison, you would know that is definitely something that has happened over the years.
Oh, there is a certain position that you'd never done before, actually. And you're like, wow, have I not known about
Wow,
this?
that is very true. How have I, that was it.
How have
I'm
I
like,
not known
how
about
have I
this?
not known about this? You think there's only certain body parts that can go in certain places, but no.
Okay, now you're opening up a whole.
I'm
No.
intrigued.
It's nothing that weird. It's nothing that weird. It's pretty normal. Just Doug had not gone there. But anyway, as we come back from the sex conversation,
Right.
to be fair to my audience, I just want to mention a couple of their favorite episodes as well as a couple of my favorite episodes. So it was mentioned that the inner child work with Terry Real was a very popular and very impactful episode that was done. Of course, my client Maureen, shout out to Maureen, who's been to literally every live event except one, still with me after 13, 14 years of being my client. And she said, well, I love all the ones I was on. So to her, that was impactful. Some of my top favorites, if you're new to the podcast, you can find them at jjfilzanes.com. There is underneath podcast, there's a favorite episode page that has the links to sort of my top, at this point, maybe 60 or 70 episodes, but I'll just name a few. And that would be The Price to Pay for Living Your Purpose. How Can I? Basically taking the role of, okay, when you say, well, I can't do that. Well, how can I? We've got The Biology of Belief with Dr. Bruce Lipton, his first time on my show, which was amazing. I think I have Your Inner Prostitute, talking about basically how we prostitute ourselves for love or money and how to be in alignment with that and figure out how not to do that. Stretching yourself into new results. If you're someone who continues to live that life that one year 99 times and you're ready for something new, stretching yourself into new results was actually with Melanie Benson and another fellow podcaster who is still podcasting. Shout out to Melanie for that. And yeah, that's some of the top ones. How to Feel Better Right Now. I did that one during COVID because everybody was freaking out about everything. So How to Feel Better Right Now. It's a really good law of attraction, like being in the moment and how to switch that. Oh, and then 5 ways to allow in more. That one is definitely shout out to Vesta because that was one of her favorite episodes. Yeah. Allison finally got to meet Vesta, a longtime listener of her show and a client of hers also. And she has her podcast, Open Heart Healing. So make sure you check out Open Heart Healing podcast as well.
Yes.
Yeah, those would be some of my favorite episodes. So I want to come
Can I
back
add
to
one?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so another one that I had on my list that you didn't mention, so I want to shout it out because I think it's important, is the Harville Hendrix. And it's actually important to all of us in this room because we were just talking about how none of us are with the same partner. And the whole topic of those shows is about how we unconsciously pick our partners based on our parents' negative and positive traits to heal our childhood wounds. So I think that is so important for everyone to learn about your relationship. If you're struggling in a relationship, look up imago therapy and it might completely shift the way you're like, oh shit, this is why I love him.
You're right. And Harville's been on a million times, waiting for his endorsement of my new book to come any day now. He told me by the end of August. Well, not endorsement, he's writing the foreword. But that first show is, I believe, episode either 81 or 91 on Spirit, Purpose, and Energy, but it's on all shows, and it's called Your Relationship Explained. Do you have relationship problems? You will not when you listen to that show. I mean, you'll have the problems, but you'll understand it because we go, Your Relationship Explained. Just listen to that episode, and it's basically going to open you up to why your relationship is in the state in which it is. And then, of course, listen to the rest of the podcast, and you'll find out all the tools you can use. Get Harville's books in order to help fix your relationship, or check in with me, because we can help you with that too. So going back to some of these life lessons, thinking about yourself as a not a podcaster, like how is podcasting or your business, and we'll start with Michael, in this last 10 years, 11 years, how has it changed your regular life or your health or your relationships?
Holy cow. I would say huge. I don't know if you remember, I think it was a movie called Mr. Destiny. And I love the graphic they did. It was about this young guy who had an opportunity he hit the ball. Imagine this moment in time. He could either hit the ball and strike out or ground out, or he could hit the home run. And the trajectory of life changing, okay? And so in this particular movie, the angel switches for him. And so, but it was just the way they did it, they showed the dots progressing this way and then this other way. And so I guess that's the best way for me to describe how podcasting has impacted me, because it literally, from that moment, the trajectory changed. And it all started, and I know you've heard the story a million times because it's just, I share it again and again. The origin story of it is I was just coaching a client and he was having some great aha moments. And I said, maybe we should record this. He agreed, we recorded it, and at the end we played it back and he said, dude, that sounds awesome. You should start a podcast.
Wow.
And everything changed. Literally within 2 weeks, I launched my first show, and this, like JJ, was in 2014. And I don't know where I would have gone otherwise. Life would have been so very different had I not done that. And I guess that's it in a nutshell. Yeah, here we are.
Cool.
Well, I think you said the same thing that Doug said. When someone told him about podcasting, he went, "What's a podcast?"
What is a
Exactly.
podcast?
Yeah. What is that?
Yeah, I know. I don't think I knew either because it was back in the days of telesummits, and I had done a bunch of telesummits. For those of you that have no idea what we're talking about, a telesummit is a audio recording that happens on the phone. There's no video, and it gets shared sort of as a like how we do summits now. It's still a summit. It's a telesummit, so it's not video. It's again, and it's short-lived, and they were probably selling the audios also, but you'd have like a certain amount of time to listen to the audio, and it could basically be the same thing as a current virtual summit, which I think most of you who are still with me remember. I did the consciousness upgrade last year in 2024 with Bruce Lipton as one of my headliners, and Harville Hendricks and Helen Kelly Hunt, so and Meryl Hemingway and Christy Whitman, and it was a great, my first I'd helped other people do summits, but I'm like, I think it's time for me to do one. And I did, and it was very successful. And I look forward to doing it again in the future. So yeah, telesummits. And I thought, I made so many mistakes as a podcaster. Let's talk about some mistakes also, because I think people sometimes, not everyone, look at us, people who have been doing this for a while, and you think, well, you probably knew what you were doing. Like you didn't need to learn anything. And you probably did everything right. You probably went out and like, yeah, you got it all. And oh my God, so many mistakes. I would upload the biggest files. I paid $75 a month to Libsyn from the get-go.
Yeah, because JLD told us to.
75, what the heck? I was
sure you'll throw JLD under the bus, but you won't Marie Forleo.
Well,
I mean, what's up with you, Alice?
He's our friend, and I love Maria Forleo. That wasn't about Maria Forleo.
Yeah, I mean, I have an episode. I didn't know you could switch the file on Libsyn. I posted, I'm like, oh crap, it's what's mono versus stereo. It was mono. I'm like, why can you only hear me in one ear? Oh my God. So then instead of changing the file, I just published it again and said updated file. Like that's anyway, I made so many mistakes. And of course I'm putting video files on an audio podcast because I wanted to put everything on the same podcast. And here's the biggest kicker. I hired a coach who I knew personally my entire life. However, she was an expert in Twitter. Hello, she didn't have a podcast. I said, she said, oh, I can help you with that. I hired someone who doesn't have a podcast. Help me with a podcast. Like, what the hell was I thinking? I was thinking, oh, I like you. I know you. I trust you. You've got a big following on Twitter, and I want to pay someone I know, like, and trust. And I didn't know anyone like or trust anybody who was about the same price to help me get launched on a podcast. And of course, I learned all those lessons. I would love to hear some of your biggest mistakes and lessons that are kind of laughable now. Michael, let's start with you.
Wow. Okay. So I think probably one of the biggest mistakes I made was, well, and this is in hindsight, it's a big mistake because you're just not going to know this in the beginning, is that I was using links in my show notes that were going to expire, like, because you just talked about earlier about, hey, your episode is evergreen. Well, if you're putting in a link in there for something and you're promoting something and 5 months later that thing is gone, well, that's now a wasted dead link there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of didn't think about this until much later on. And at one point I even had my VA go back into all the old show notes and change that. Because otherwise, I mean, that's like you said, it's there forever. So you better put something in there because someone may find this 10 years from now and go to click and get something, and that's where your business builds. So that was a mistake I made that I know better now.
That's a high level mistake. Don't you have any like rudimentary? Don't you have any like more simple mistakes?
I got it all right.
Wait a second,
no.
Michael, hold on. Hitting record, forgetting to hit the record button.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean,
come on.
Come on. We all do that.
Right? I mean, that's like the classic error as you're podcasting wanting to record a conversation. I've done that.
Yeah, thank you, my brother. That is for sure one, but there's another one that I've done too that's really bad, and I learned a workaround for that. Have you ever done this where you're recording yourself and your guest, and you get the download at the end, and they're really loud,
Yes.
and then you try to make it work? What a nightmare trying to edit and fix that if it's really dramatic. Now, if it's close, you can adjust, but the dramatic ones were, oh my God, a nightmare.
Before the days of double track recording,
exactly.
Track recording.
Exactly. And then before I turned over my podcast editing and such to Brother Doug and his company there, I was doing my own editing. And how many of you ever done this? You spend 2-3 hours editing an episode, and then you lose it and it shuts down and you didn't save it and you have to start over again.
Yep.
Oh, what a nightmare.
Yep. That's happened to me too. Yeah. You have to learn the hard way. I recorded, who did I just record with? I mean, it only happened recently. that I paused the video because I forget if they needed to get up and change something, and then I didn't unpause it.
Oh.
And we recorded. Oh, Jeannie, I think it was Jeannie Peters. I haven't even released that episode yet. I had to laugh because she was finally on time. Love you, Jeannie. She was finally on time, and all her stuff worked. Her mic worked. Her video worked. Everything worked. And then we had this whole on conversation, and I didn't record it. I went, "Oh my God, take 3. Here we go again." And that was recent, and that's never happened to me. So, and I'm 11 years in, everybody. So anyway,
Yeah.
Allison, what about you?
I think tech wise, I mean, I had a film production background. So I built the studio. I knew how to edit. I knew how to do all the things. So tech wasn't my issue. Not that I haven't had things happen, of course. But I think my issue is more around like the things I didn't do right away. You know, because I did treat it like a business. I marketed it like a business. I didn't do it as a hobby. I built a studio in my guest house. I created something and I was like, this is going to happen. This is going to be my new business. And it was. But the mistakes I made early on is I did all this marketing so that I had 100,000 downloads in the first 3 months. What did I do with those downloads? Well, Michael, you'd be mad at me. I didn't have an email list, right? I didn't build community right away. And so the community and the email list and those things came later, and they would have been super valuable had I started them sooner. Like JJ and I are just at Podcast Movement, and we have one of our listeners there, Vesta. She's amazing. She's now started a podcast. And there are all these incredible people that you can be connecting with from day one. The first person that, you know, back then it was Twitter. So I had someone tweeting me, and she actually became my friend and my client, was on my podcast. But you know, the first person that reaches out, email them, talk to them, become their friend. Like, it's so important to build that community. Then when you're in different places, you can have community meetups. When you go, like we just went to Dallas, you can have a Food Heals or a Spirit, Purpose and Energy or a business meetup or whatever it might be, and have your people gather. They become friends. These are your super fans that'll be with you for life. And I've created that community now. And I've had a bigger community in the past, and it's actually dwindled. So it's a lesson to myself, like, keep building that community, because those people are your rock star super fans that will back you for life, you know? And those are the people that become your friends, and those are the people your message really resonates with. And isn't that why we're all doing this? And I know we've talked about making money, but truthfully, we're all here to help people. We're all here to serve the world and give people a transformation they didn't know that they could have. And so building that community, I think not doing it earlier was my biggest mistake. I would ignore emails because I'd be so overwhelmed, because I still had my film production business at the time. So I was film producing and then starting a podcast, which like I said, I treated it like a business. I was podcasting nonstop. I was having guests in person. It was pre-COVID, so everyone came to my place. I didn't do almost any Zoom or any. Back then it was, what was it before
Skype?
Zoom? Yeah, there was
Yeah,
Skype.
Skype.
I did a couple of those, but not a lot. They were all in
yeah.
person. And so I think it's just like, take your impact and make sure that you're building that email address at the minimum, the email list at the minimum. And then in the community, building the Facebook groups, who is in your community where you live. You can have a meetup. You can say, meet me for coffee. For us, it would be meet me for a green juice. JJ brings her people together through events, right? I did 2 retreats to Italy. I mean, that's how. Your other question was, how has podcasting changed my life? Because of the relationships, like Doug talked about earlier, that I built from the podcast. Some of my closest friends in the world and business partners and clients came out of the podcast. I never would have known half the people, maybe 70% of the people I know and hold dear in my heart, in my life, if it weren't for my podcast.
Do you remember the episode we did it? I was live with you in studio, and we had Michael on Zoom.
I do remember that.
And we were talking about, because
he had consciously speaking.
You had consciously speaking, and it was the 3 of us, because
I think it was about like love and relationship.
Yep. Yes, because we talked, because you were in the process of getting divorced, but weren't announcing it yet. And Michael, you had gotten divorced. And I remember
I wasn't telling anyone, but
Nope.
I don't remember that. Okay.
Yeah, but you were asking about, and I remember that because you and I were together live, and then Michael called in through Zoom, and I do remember Skype. Oh my God, Skype! And I did so many recordings through Skype for years, at least 2 or 3 years. I was using Skype, and now Skype doesn't even exist, does it? I think I tried to download it, and I think somebody sold it.
Wow.
I don't even think Skype exists anymore.
I think it retired.
I think you have to get there through AOL online dial-up. Or
on a CD that comes through the mail.
Or MySpace.
Or a time machine.
Right.
Hey, I also want to just harken back to it real quickly too. Speaking of relationships and divorce and everything, remember when we created it? It never went anywhere, but the relationship show.
Yep, with Ruby, right?
With Ruby, when
met
we
in
were
Austin.
all there and we were all going
And
through divorce.
Debbie
and
was
crap.
in that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was
The
called
relationship show.
That's
But
amazing. That's a great title.
Who did you have that recorded? Because you have a lot of archives. Yeah.
I know. I recorded it and never released it. I've got multiple shows they were a great idea and they never made it to the air.
We threatened to share those, I think, a couple of times, and we never have. So that's
Yeah.
okay. Maybe one day in the
Bonus
archives.
content.
Right.
We
Bonus
talked
content.
about that too, and
Yeah.
never
That would
did
be
it.
fun.
Well, we were unfortunately. I think the spirit of it was we were all bitching about our exes, but but that wasn't really going to be a positive thing for us to put out into the world.
Right.
It was like group therapy.
It was fun.
It was like group therapy.
Yeah.
Coming together. So, and Doug, you were a part of that too. Oh yeah, you definitely were a part of that.
Yeah, for sure. I think didn't we record that on a hotel bed or something?
Yes,
Yes.
yep, in
Remember
Austin at
in
the
Austin.
Austin New Media Summit.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, that's when
For
you
you-
guys kept going and I stopped going to that one.
Yeah.
I think I did one more after that. I think I did Florida. And so I
I
think I
kept
did 4
going.
or
There was
5.
too much opportunity at New Media Summit
Well,
for
you were
me.
the
So
DJ, so like you got to have all the fun.
Yeah.
that's true. Well, again, was part of my past career that evolved into podcasting anyway. So that was cool.
Yeah, if I got to be like in charge of the karaoke or the DJ, I'd keep going too.
Yeah.
Well, dear love, babe.
Yes. Yes.
How's podcasting? Let's go for mistakes first. Let's share some of your biggest worst mistakes.
All right. Biggest, worst mistake. When I first started podcasting, I figured, like business, oh, this will be easy. I'll create a program first. I'll dump a whole bunch of money into it, knowing, of course, what everybody in my market's going to want. I'll build this audience and then I'll just sell it to them. And the challenge was that I spent 10 grand plus travel, accommodations, all the stuff, going to North Carolina to record on video this whole program that I had laid out, this school. I didn't sell one of them.
Wow.
So I probably put 12 or 13,000 between the cost of the program and travel into it. Didn't sell one of the programs. On the other hand, advance it, 7 or 8 years or maybe 6 years into podcasting, created this podcast launch school, but didn't create any of the program, just had it in my brain, the idea of it, introduced it to my audience, taped the program live with the audience who all paid to be there. And I think I made 20 grand the first time I tried this program. So it was like I was getting paid to build a program that I then could end up selling. And the program has evolved into literally millions of dollars in revenue for my company through the years because I just did the smart thing, which was listen to my market. So mistake number one, don't invest in creating a program until you know that your market wants it. And it's so easy to do that when you have a podcast. Even with a small audience of 100 or 50 or 200 people, you can get a really good indicator whether it's going to be a program that will fly even from a small audience.
Absolutely.
Can I say something for Doug's? I think one of Doug's first mistakes I'm going to call out simply because this is my first time I ever saw you, period. Didn't know who you were.
Yeah.
We're at Podcast Movement. We're in a room of about 200 people.
Oh, Jesus.
And Doug had raised his hand to ask a question or something. And he stood up, and I'm, of course, going to butcher this, but as I recall it, the way I heard it was, Doug was like, something about, you can monetize a podcast? I've got this many episodes and this many hundreds of thousands of downloads, and I haven't made a dime. And I was like, what the fuck? So I remember that was my first experience of seeing Doug, and I'm like, I got to meet this guy.
Yeah, everybody thought I was a big deal in podcasting. I'm telling you, I am not a big deal. I was just a little shot. What's it? I'm not a big shot. I'm a little shot that keeps shooting. That was me. I just stayed in the game long enough to actually, the evolution of my podcast brought me to a whole new, I got into podcasting to promote a book that I had written, and I haven't promoted the book in 8 years, and I never sold anything from that. I spent more money than I made money in that world, but one person from our audience, Lou, said, hey, can you teach me how to do this podcast thing? I'm like, I don't know how much I would even charge you. We came up with the program and the price together. I introduced it to him, and then I introduced it to a larger community. And it's been a wonderful ride. So the mistakes, through contrast comes clarity. There was a lot of contrast in trying to figure out what I was going to do. A lot of mistakes made, and only through those mistakes was I able to find the clear path. Like Michael said earlier, with the trajectory of that ball, it's like, am I going to strike out? Am I going to bunt? Am I going to have a home run or a single? All of those things, those decisions or those results end up in you making some really good or horrible decisions, but keep rolling through and you will succeed at it.
Well, you obviously made the right pivot because, I mean, you've gone on to make tons since then. But I just remember that first moment was first time I ever saw you. So.
Oh, Well, I don't even remember that moment. I just remember being a speaker at one of those events and yelling at somebody in the audience because they
That
were
was
focused on
that
the
was
wrong.
Podfest, which is why you
Oh,
haven't been invited back.
God,
But
I think
maybe
I'm
Allison can help us smooth that over
think
because
I'm
I would like to be
blacklisted from
teaching at
them.
Podfest.
That's
I'll
funny.
find out if you're
No,
blacklisted or
I
not.
don't care. I don't even want to do the conferences anymore. I just kind of like sitting in my little third bedroom of my home and, having my screen behind me and having great guests and just doing what I do.
And
I like
working on his
doing
trucks.
and working on my trucks.
Working on his
Exactly
trucks.
right.
So
Exactly.
we might be losing Michael here shortly. He is traveling and not at his normal situation. So I just want to get in a couple things with Michael before he has to go. The first thing I'm going to ask you to do, because I do want to celebrate this 500 episode, by also offering a discount to my audience to come to my live event. We've talked about that we've all met each other live in person 10, 11 years ago, and that has been, monumental for our businesses as well as personally. Allison mentioned, community and that we meet people. And, since I started my live events, which both Allison and Michael were there for, the birth of when JJ decided to say, this is what I do now, everybody. Not just a personal trainer. And then, of course, I retired from that a couple years later. But I got to stand in front of people who listened to my show for the first, and really be in a room full of people who already knew me before I got there, which is unlike anything else I had ever experienced. And there was just such power to that and such transformation. But since you've been to a live event, I'd love to just to give a shout out. Well, before you do that, no, do that first, and then just tell people where they can find you in case they don't know you or they want to get involved with what you're doing now. Anything you tell anybody about my live events, and so
Sure. So I can tell you, JJ's live events are a total blast. Everybody loves it and has a great time. They're very transformative. The reason I'm not getting invited back is because JJ wanted me to guide a 15-minute guided meditation. And about an hour later, I ring the bell. I had no idea that I'd gone on for an hour, but it was total fun. I'm just kidding.
you
That
forgot the
part's
time
true.
that you actually slept in and didn't come. Remember that one
Well,
time?
there was that too.
There was
Yeah,
that
yeah.
time where you missed the whole morning because you slept in.
Yeah, yeah. There's those challenges as well.
What happened the night
But
before? Too much of JJ's wine.
that's right.
Me.
Her events though are amazing, super transformative. You definitely got to get to it if you can because it will change your life. And I would say this too. If you're going to do it though, play full out, invest in it, in your time and your energy, not just your cash for the ticket, but be there, be fully present, and you will walk away transformed. So that's what I'd say about that. If you want to find me, michaelneely.com, I guess. I'm about to have my whole new websites being revamped. Hopefully that'll be released soon because the old one is way old, much like my podcast, Constantly Speaking. I haven't changed my website in 4 years either. So the new version is about to roll out at michaelneely.com.
Well, I'll have you back when it's out, and we can promote that Consciously Speaking has had a rebirth,
Yeah.
and get some people to go listen to it.
I love it. You guys would be amazed at like what that rebirth episode is. It's like weird and mind blowing and cool and all kind of
Awesome.
stuff.
Well,
All
I'm so
right.
glad you could make it today. He was surprised for Allison and Doug. It was
Yeah.
Yes.
since he's traveling, he said, "Well, maybe we'll see. I don't know what my schedule is." And I said, "Well, we'll just leave you as a possibility, and then you'll just be a surprise."
Where
I
are you, Mike?
loved
Where
it.
are you? What part
I
of the
am
world are you?
in just outside of Denver, actually closer to Boulder right now for a transformational event right now, doing soul alignment, which is a somatic alignment of your energies. And so that's what I'm at right now.
But a bitchin'
Nice.
hotel room behind you. It looks like it's got a fireplace and a
It
huge,
does.
a
This
whole
is,
bunch
but
of
this
fun.
this is an Airbnb,
Oh,
and
okay.
yeah, this
Ah.
is one of the rooms in it, so it's pretty cool. There's about 5 of us for the event, so it's a very small group.
I'm so glad you're here, Michael. So good to see
Yeah,
you.
me too.
Yeah.
It's so great to see all of y'all. I love you guys. Mwah, mwah,
Love you,
Great to
Michael.
see
mwah.
you.
And I
Thank you.
will look forward to seeing you all soon again. Ciao,
Absolutely.
everybody. Bye-bye.
Wasn't that a nice surprise?
That's
Yes.
great. Thank you, JJ. I thank you for keeping that as a surprise. That was I knew Allison would be here, and I was excited to be able to have a conversation with Allison too. But knowing that Michael was here made it even better. Thanks, JJ.
Well, the three of us will be having dinner together next Sunday,
Yes.
celebrating Chef Tara's 7th year in business, as well as her new book, which we'll talk about here on the
Yeah.
show in the next couple of weeks for her book launch. So stay
Yes.
tuned for that. Yeah, so let's talk about uh, let's talk about the live event, and then we can move on to sort of the last lessons that we think are important for people who, no matter where they are. Because again, I don't really have a ton of entrepreneurial clients. They may be side hustlers, they may be some entrepreneurs, they may be some podcasters, but I think the majority of the people that listen to my show have jobs, and maybe they want to do a side thing, and maybe they've been in something with me before or not, but it doesn't really matter because my events aren't business focused, and this podcast isn't business focused, but every lesson is applicable to all aspects of our life. I mean, there's no disconnection. You work on one thing over here, it affects everything else. You can't take we're not I can't say that.
Compartmentalizing.
Thank you. Thank you. Brain stop for a second, but I'm not going to cut that. I'm going to leave that. It's going to be part of my imperfect perfect episode.
Sometimes
Yeah, you work
we
on
make mistakes.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm excited. You work on your health, it affects how you show up in your relationship and how you show up in your business. You work on your business, it affects how you show up in your relationship, and then you have time and can afford to do things for your health, right? So everything works together. So let's talk about the event first, because Allison, you've been to one. You've been to the first Releasing It Weighs You Down,
Yeah.
and got to meet another one of your audience members who had come to that as well.
Yeah, Chris. Yeah.
Anything you want to mention about, and you've known me and this work, and you've listened to probably more of my episodes than actually both Doug and Michael, and you've
You're
been
welcome.
and you've been on many of them. Yes, thank you. And you've been on many of them, and I've been on many of yours, and we've been together probably more in this space. Anything you want to just recommend or say to people about my live events or things I do?
I think it's transformational in terms of like, okay, what is it that you can't move past? JJ is going to find it, right? And so, well, she's just going to assist you, facilitate you in finding it. She's not going to call you out, but she calls you out a little bit. She's going to call you out on your bullshit, and she's going to be direct, but you're going to have a transformation regardless. You will not leave the 3-day weekend without a transformation. I guarantee that. And so you use all of these tools. I believe some are with tools that other people use, and some are what you have created on your own. And then you have, in the past, you've had other people such as myself come in and teach their transformational tools, and so you're getting this variety of tools that you can then take home to keep that transformation going, because we know we're not healed at the end of the weekend, but maybe we've gone up the healing ladder just a little bit, probably a lot, to be honest. But if nothing else, you're going to go up the healing ladder just a little bit. You're fucking gonna cry, okay? You're going to lose your mind a little bit, and you're going to create a new community of other people and realize, hey, I'm not alone in my suffering. I'm not alone in this feeling of I'm not good enough. I'm not this. Oh, my marriage is destroyed. Oh, whatever. You're not alone in that. And I think that's one of the hardest things that we face as humans. We're operating in silos. If you don't have a big family unit around you all the time, you probably live alone. Like, we're not meant to live like this. We're meant to live in community. So come to the event and create a new community of like-minded people.
I have not met one person since I've been doing this. So what, 7 years? 7 years. 7 years. It's probably my 10th event, something like that. And I've never heard anyone say they did not feel welcomed. In fact, that's one of the things everybody always says. They feel seen, they feel heard, they feel welcomed, and they end up being brought into a brand new family of people who are on the trajectory of growth and self-healing, which most of us don't have that in our lives. We don't have family members that want to talk about this kind of stuff or do this kind of work. We don't have, you don't have coworkers that are necessarily doing this stuff. You don't even have churches that are doing this stuff, right? You go and you pray, but you're not necessarily taking the work onto yourself. So thank you for that, Allison. And, I've seen your growth. I have to tell you, I don't know that I told you, babe, when I got back from Dallas, Allison is definitely much more comfortable with me because she said I was being mean to her.
You told me you were mad at me. I don't take that well.
I cried though also when I said, yeah, I was mad at you. I had tears in my eyes when I said I'm mad at you because I was jealous because I miss you and I haven't seen you and you're back in California. We're all going to dinner in like a week and a half from now. But actually, as of the publishing of this, we had dinner 2 days ago. So
right. That was a wonderful dinner at Pura Vida. Everyone go see Chef Tara Pizzoni.
Right. No, I was being, and 1 or 2 free drinks in. And you're like, oh my God, it's so nice to see you. I miss you. It's because you were like, oh my God, it's so good to see you. I miss you. And that's when I'm like, oh, I'm mad at you because I don't see you
Mm.
enough. And then tears
Allison, to
started.
know JJ is to know that quality time is her first, second, and third love languages. All right. So
I
just,
know. And all of my friends who have that love language are always mad at me. So I get it. It's
yeah,
okay.
yes, same here. It's not a priority for me. Words of affirmation is
Oh,
my all five of mine.
I have no, you and I see you every day, 24/7. So I don't need any more quality time. I love you,
No,
but we have,
agreed, agreed, agreed.
Allison, I don't see. I see her flitting around the world with other people all the time. And I'm like, well,
That's so funny. Can we just talk about
Yeah,
that for
it's so
a
much. It's a
minute?
Facebook glamorous life that Allison will tell
Exactly.
you that is not how she's living her life, really.
Social media is not real. Yes, I post when I'm in Tulum and doing fabulous things with friends, but let me tell you that most of my life is spent at home. I'm an introvert. I'm in front of my computer. I'm building something. I'm on calls with people like this, but I'm like in my home most of the time. Y'all
Hmm.
think I'm gallivanting around the world, and yeah, I am, but I'm home a lot. I'm such a homebody. I just want to be with my dog. And so everyone that gets mad at me, just know like social media is not reality, okay? It's a beautiful part of our reality, but usually I'm at home. So don't get mad that I'm not out with you because I'm at home. I'm alone with my dog.
so the translation of I'm mad at you equals I really miss
I
you
miss
and I
you.
value you.
Yeah.
Okay, next time say that.
JJ has taught me. I had an experience with a very close friend of mine recently where I could have just gone off the deep end and just teed off on him and said, I'm so fucking pissed at you and this is wrong and all of that stuff. And I got down to really what it's about. And I said, I'm sad. I'm
Oh,
sad
yeah.
that this is a part of our relationship that I feel like is not going to return from this decision that you have made. And so that made me really sad. But not having the experience that I've had with JJ and going to all of her events except for the first one, I probably would not have felt the same way. I probably would have gone in an entire different direction and been and then I would have had to have gone on the defensive because now when you argue with somebody or you're angry with somebody and yell at them, they're going to just yell back at you. You say to somebody, "I'm sad because I miss you." That's a hard thing for somebody to argue against.
Yeah.
So valuable words, valuable emotions to
Well, I
share.
said I was mad, but I was crying. I was like, I'm mad at you. Yeah, really, I'm sad, but I just said mad because I want to be mad, but I'm really just sad. And mad
Yeah.
feels a little more empowering right now, but I'm really crying. Um, anyway, but to say, thank you, babe, about the live events. And we definitely at every single live event go through the feelings and needs list and focus on the emotions and sort of get to the place where you want to communicate authentically who you are and what you feel in that moment and what your needs are without blame. And even though I was blaming Alice in that moment, it was only because she's like, I miss you. It's so nice to see you. And I was like, ah, ah, ah. But
And I
I,
almost said what need is not being met, but I didn't want to be snarky, so I didn't.
well, you were just snarky the next day,
I probably
in the
was.
cab after a couple drinks, and you're like, "You're me. You're gonna tell me all the things I did wrong on my presentation." I was like, "What are you talking about?"
Because she's so good at what she does. I didn't even want her to be there because I wanted to have no one I knew in the room so I couldn't be judged. But I was so grateful that she was there. So
You
I
killed
am
it.
sorry about that because I was,
I'm sure you killed it, Allison. You are a killer that way.
thank you. I appreciate
Even
it.
Vestas, like I said, I go, Allison was like, she was really picking on me. She goes, she was. She was. I was like, well, she must feel more comfortable with me now because she's really picking on me. So yes, I felt the love. But I also felt like, okay, she's comfortable enough to be mean to me. No, I'm kidding. To be mean to me and tell me I'm being
Well,
mean to her.
and so I do apologize because my intention is never to hurt anyone's feelings or to do anything, but I do show love with a lot of sarcasm. And I know you this well that I can say this, and that is part of my personality. So if that rubs anyone the wrong way, I do apologize for that.
No, it's fine. I just wanted to bring it up as we were talking about the live event. Yes, Doug has been at all of them, and hopefully he'll be at all of them moving forward. He'll definitely be at this
Yay.
one. He is the DJ. I try to
Yay.
get it. There's a few things I hope he'll do. He's amazing. He keeps it live. He keeps us dancing. And I think someone said, if you're having the dance party, I think Vesta might have said, if you have the dance party. And I'm going to say, what do you mean, if? If I have the dance party. We always have a dance party. It is a non-negotiable. You don't have to come to the dance party, but we will always have a dance party.
I bring
100%.
I bring out my DJ skills just for you, JJ, as you know, after having done, I don't know, 37 years and 2,500 events or something crazy in my career, I was happy to hang up my DJ business handful of years ago and just say, I'm glad I never have to do this again. Not because I didn't love the impact that I was able to have in people's lives, but it's a fuck ton of schlepping and pressure and all the stuff that you get to experience when you're on the dance floor as a DJ. You don't as a attendee, you don't realize how much the actual entertainment goes through as you're preparing and planning, and even something as simple as a playlist. It's not just a playlist. You still have to feel the playlist and make sure that it happens with the audience that's there and attending. But I love doing it, but I only love doing it for you. So if you're in the audience right now and want to hire me, too bad.
Oh, darn.
Not doing it for anybody other than JJ, or you've got to throw a ridiculous amount of money in my direction in order for me to even consider it.
But for a very small amount of money. And I'm even going to give you a code. It's JJ250. You can take $250 off the ticket at jjflazanes.com/unleash. It's unleashing your manifestation power. And just to remind you quickly, we're going to be diving into those nervous system survival states: fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. We are going to work with your nervous system in person to make some shifts so that fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, and you will learn which one is your dominant, which one is your secondary. And if you have all of them, then you're going to go through all the exercises, because it's going to literally, we want to bring down the nervous system into a parasympathetic state, or know how to do that so that you can stop blocking manifestations, right? Rather than just learning about manifestation, we're going to start to calm down the nervous system that's blocking manifestations. So I hope you'll consider coming to Unleashing Your Manifestation Power, JJ250. It'll be in the show notes to get $250 off the ticket as a thank you, as a please. If you've never been to a live event and you've been listening since 2014 or 2015, please get your butt to the event. I will help you. I will work with you. I will make a different payment plan for you. Please, 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 please come meet this community. I promise you will not be disappointed. You will be life changed is what you'll be. So that's the pitch for today. Allison, talk a little bit about obviously foodhillsnation.com. Is it Food Hills Nation?
I am retired that website for a temporary time.
Okay. So
just
Food
go to
Hills
Instagram.
podcast on all the
Just go to
podcasts.
listen to the podcast. Yeah, just go listen
Okay.
to the podcast.
So that's it. Or Instagram, Allison Melody TV.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Got it.
how would you have anything going on right now that you're helping people with?
Well, currently I am helping, which is probably not a perfect fit for your audience, but I will shout it out anyways. I'm helping passionate podcasters land lucrative sponsorships. So if you have a podcast, if you're creating a podcast, if you have a podcast that is not making money, even though it should, like you have all the downloads like Doug used to have without making any money, you should be making money. So I help you do that. So I do have a free masterclass. It's at what is it? Free. I didn't prepare this. Sorry. Free sponsorship masterclass.com, I believe. Yeah. Free.
Well, it'll be in the show notes because you got a couple of weeks. So it'll be in the show notes.
Okay.
And if not, you can reach out to me or reach out to Allison and she'll give you the link.
Yeah. But really, I help people heal their mind, body, and soul through the podcast. So just listen to the podcast if that's what, JJ and we're about to record another episode with JJ. So by the time this comes out, they'll probably be, the most recent episode will be with JJ. So you guys just come back and listen to the show with both of us. And Doug, you're welcome too.
All right.
And babe, what about you? Last shout
What about
outs.
me?
Is there anything you'd like to share with anybody in the audience about things
Yes,
you might go
as
to
a
help
matter
them
of
with?
fact, I have a 1967 F-250 for sale, and I have a 1973 F-350 for sale. If you're interested in buying an old classic truck, contact me. How about that? That was a good sales pitch, right?
So you restore them? How does it work?
Yeah. Well, that's a side hustle that I actually got through the podcast. I started a show
Nice.
called Ford Mustang, the Early Years podcast about 7 years ago. And I have about 150 episodes of that show and really dig it. And then I found a sponsor that wanted to sponsor the event. And then I found product sponsors that wanted to send me product. And I started buying and selling cars and trucks through the podcast as well. And so it's been a really cool, and then renting my car for photo shoots and film things, and all, movie studios have been hired us
Commercials.
commercials.
That's
It's been-
awesome.
Weddings.
wedding. It's true. It's just been a fun run, and I wasn't even getting into it to make money. I was just doing it because I love talking about my cars and my trucks. But I have these 2 trucks that I'm going to need to move because
One of them will already be sold, so don't even talk about the blue one.
Uh,
But the Kermit truck, definitely.
Yeah, Kermit the Beast. It is a big old green F-350 pickup truck, 1973. Very, very cool. Does not need any work, but it needs a new home. And if you want to be the rehome that is going to, just get in touch with JJ. She'll put a link in the show notes how to get to me.
All right. Thank you guys. When I had asked you to,
Congratulations.
Oh,
Thank
thanks.
you. Thank you.
Yeah,
When I
congratulations, JJ. This is ultra cool. I love that you've gotten to episode 500. I love that you've been in the game as long as you have, all the lessons
Yeah.
that you've learned along the way, all of the love that you have provided along the way, support to your community that is so important. I think that everybody that has been touched by your words has been bettered by it. So continue
Absolutely.
doing what you do, JJ. This is great.
Thank you. Thank you guys. I appreciate
Yes.
you being here. I was glad Michael could come. It felt a little not incomplete, but I thought, well, we got two girls and a guy. Well, who would be another podcaster that would be? And I was like, ding, 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 Michael.
That's so
Even though
exciting.
even though he's not currently podcasting, but he was this. You guys are my beginning. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
you're the beginning. You're the people I started to know and get to know and hang out with. And so it was perfect that he could make the time on his retreat to be with us today. So thank you all. I love you very much. And to all of you that are listening, if the event is not, whether the event is in your wheelhouse or not, the one thing I would ask sincerely, deeply, if you have gotten anything out of the show and you're still listening, please share some of the episodes with people that you think would be the right kind of audience for me. The best way I have ever grown from the beginning is when people share the episodes with other people who they think need it. That is the best compliment you can give me, besides a 5-star rating and review, if you haven't done that on Apple. The next best thing you could do would be to share any powerful episodes that you have listened to with those who you think are ready to receive the message, and then ready to receive it through me. And you can give them a little like, yeah, she's direct and she's intense, but she's going to help change your life. So I would really appreciate that. I love you all so much. Thank you for making my podcasting journey just the most fulfilling thing I could ever be doing with my life, and all the wonderful people and changes that I've had. So I appreciate you. To another 500. I'll see you on the other side of that. Thank you, guys.
Congratulations.
Congrats, JJ.